Hey, what up, everybody? Steviebreech coming to you fresh home from the Smackdown tapings in Sacramento, California tonight. All in all, it was a great show. If I seem like my eyes are a little tired, it's not because of the show. I left the show having a blast. It was tons of fun. Stupid traffic on Highway 50, which they're fixing and tearing it up, and it's just stop and go traffic the whole way home. So I apologize. First things first. I didn't come home with any merch from the show. Honestly, the CM Punk shirt, which I was crazy about last week, sort of wore off on me. I don't think I really want it anymore. So I don't know. If I change my mind, it's not like I don't have any chance. I'm going to Access. I'm going to SummerSlam and going to Raw in San Diego on Monday. So it's not like I won't have my chances to buy any WWE merch anytime soon. But I went and I enjoyed the show. Started out with Brodus Clay working a dark match before the NXT. Brodus Clay is a guy that I still have a lot of faith in. I think this guy is going to be a big talent, and hopefully he can work his way to getting back on TV. NXT started with the starting of a push of No Time Off Darren Young. Love this guy. This guy is awesome. I wish he could get back on TV. SummerSlam main eventer. He had a match against Matt Striker. A lot of the ladies in my section hadn't seen Striker in a long time, if ever. And the ladies were talking. The ladies were talking about Matt Striker. But that's about all out of that. Justin Gabriel and uh, the Hart Dynasty. Dude, F him, whatever his name is. He had a great match, a real good match. I know for NXT on the internet, they have a longer time periods. There's no commercials. Tyson Kidd, that's his fucking name. But basically, they had a real good. It seemed like it went on forever, a good 15 minutes, but it was back and forth action. They weren't just sort of like doing nothing. So that was real good fun. Also on NXT saw Titus O'Neil. He had a match and basically he dominated and he won. And that was about it. And NXT is sort of fallen off. I can remember how much I really loved that show for season one and even a little bit for season two. And now it's just the point where I don't even know the guys that are on there or why they're on there. The only young guys that were featured was Derek Bateman, Titus O'Neil, and Darren Young. I don't know if it was the only guys left or not, but from there I moved on to Superstars. Superstars, nothing really exciting at all. Yeah, Alicia Fox had a match, and she beat Tamina, and that was really all about that. Move on, and Triple H opens up. SmackDown comes out and announces the four big matches. It was a pretty stacked card, I can tell you that. You got Randy Orton going up against the Great Khali. You got Sheamus going up against Christian. You got the Intercontinental title match, Ezekiel Jackson versus Cody Rhodes. And also you had both Money in the Bank competitors going at Alberto Del Rio versus Daniel Bryan. Real good matches all the way through. If you look at that, going up against anybody, I wouldn't put Great Khali in the main event of SmackDown. It's been a long time since you've seen those days, but it was all right. It was good. Khali, if he's pushed the right way, I'm sure he can get back up to the main event. But I don't think anybody really wants to see it. Just rolling through the matches. Everything was really, really good. I'm sure when you sit down and you actually watch SmackDown, I think you're really going to enjoy it this week. The Triple H, like I said, he was starting out. Christian came out and sort of fought against the match that he was going to have at SummerSlam. He didn't want to face Randy Orton because he said that it's an unsafe working condition, threatened to sue Triple H, and Triple H sort of just went around it and said, you know what, if you don't want to fight him, you don't have to fight him. I'm going to strip you of your title if you don't want to. So they just handed over, and then Christian sort of backed down and said that he would have the match. It was no holds barred, and they sort of showed him pondering throughout the night in the back about what he was going to do. But he was surprised by Sheamus. And Sheamus came down. Basically, they had a pretty good, a few minute match, and then Christian sort of hightailed it out of there. He just sort of walked out, took the count out. Sheamus got the win. Very surprising to see how over Sheamus is. They have booked him as a face very, very well. A lot of times when you have the big time heel turn face, it really doesn't catch on the first time. But I'm really surprised. The people really like Sheamus. And they're behind him. I thought they were building up Mark Henry to be the number one contender, but I would not be surprised if whenever the Christian versus Randy Orton feud ends, Sheamus is going to pick right up. If Christian takes his title, there will be no problem booking a Christian versus Sheamus feud. It is going to be set. I myself love the way they're booking Mark Henry as well right now. You're basically just breaking everybody's leg, and I mean, I don't think everybody in the world out there, but I would love to see Mark Henry get a chance at the main event. Someday he's got to have a title. He's been there forever. You know, WWE rewards guys with long-time loyalty, and he's been on the roster just as long as anybody in the company. So it's gonna come someday, I think, and I think a lot of people would like to see him as a world heavyweight champ, just to see something come out of his career, because he's basically been around on our TVs for a long time. And I don't know, that's just me. You got a 1 minute chicks match, AJ and Caitlyn against Beth and Natalia. I think you can see that Beth and Natalia tore these chicks up, and I would love to see these dominant divas take over. I don't think Kelly stands a chance against Beth Phoenix. I hope this match on the pay-per-view is about less than a minute, and that's all I really need out of this. They played on the Oksana versus Teddy Long thing in the back. I'm guessing that Oksana is going to become some sort of manager for somebody. I guess he's seducing Teddy Long. The storyline we've seen 1,000 times, where she's going to move in and sort of take some sort of power, and then her guy's going to come in and take over SmackDown. No word on who this is, or what it's going. That's just my guess. You got Sin Cara. I guess it was fake Sin Cara. I can't really tell. He moved around the ring like Sin Cara. He botched a few moves in and around the ropes, but honestly, when I watched Sin Cara, he did the same thing. I just sort of posted a picture on Twitter, and everybody said that it wasn't him, so I'm just gonna go along with it and say it wasn't Sin Cara either. But Sin Cara had a good match against Tyson Kidd, who had the second match of the night. And he got the win. It's no surprise they're pushing this guy to the moon, even when he's suspended, for steroids, sitting at home. It was real funny after the match. I'm not sure if the FCW guy out there, I don't know if he couldn't hear him or if he just doesn't speak English or not, but the cameraman on the outside, if you watched it, was very funny. He was just banging on the ring, trying to get one more shot of Sin Cara, posing for the crowd, and the guy wouldn't do it. So it basically, you can see the camera guy was yelling at Sin Cara as Sin Cara was doing everything except for what this guy wanted to do, and he finally just took off. And the cameraman was even pissed after he left. It was actually really funny to watch. Moved on to the Money in the Bank matches, or not matches, but the match: Alberto Del Rio versus Daniel Bryant. Alberto Del Rio got the win in a match that honestly wasn't as good as you would think it would be. I thought this match was going to be built up bigger. I think they wanted people thinking about the Money in the Banks going into SummerSlam. Both these guys, as of right now, don't have a match on paper booked. More than likely, they're going to put both these guys in matches, if not have them somehow featured, like The Miz was featured last year at SummerSlam. You can remember that he was going to join the Team WWE or Team Raw, Team Cena, and basically got kicked out because he didn't say it in time. But after the match, oh, by the way, the reason I think that they're being featured as these Money in the Banks is I think the cash-in is coming. More than likely, I would set the clocks to Monday. I'm not sure about the pay-per-view at SummerSlam, but something's going to happen with this title match. Like I said, I'm very thankful to be heading down to San Diego and seeing this, because honestly, something's going to happen. I don't care if I sit in the cheap seats or in a real good seat, but I don't have a ticket yet, but I'll get one. Moving on from there, you had Cody Rhodes and Big Zeke, Intercontinental title change. This is probably going to get added to SummerSlam as well. It was an all-right match. The best thing about it was they bagged Big Zeke after the match. Cody sort of got out of the ring, and Big Zeke sort of woke up behind Ted DiBiase, and he was sort of pissed he had the bag on his head, but he continued to beat Ted DiBiase as he had the Cody Rhodes bag on his head. I thought it was pretty damn hysterical, but I think they'll have a match, and hopefully this will lead to Cody Rhodes against Ted DiBiase match. I think that's the best thing. But like I said, we have new Intercontinental Champion. From there, Mark Henry and Johnny Curtis. Henry just sort of dominated him. Sheamus came out and sort of called him out. He says every time he comes out to fight Henry, Henry runs off, and yeah, it is what it is. They're going to have a match at SummerSlam. Hopefully it's going to be good. A lot of people say that they can't give it any time, or it's going to be bad. But get them in there, get them out of there. Both these guys are pretty hot right now, and both these guys, if they have the right kind of match, they can look good in this. And then from there we go to the Great Khali versus Randy Orton. It it sucked. I mean, Randy Orton got a huge pop. Sacramento was pretty loud for him, but the great Khali is the great Khali. If you book this guy right, he can look good, but once you finally get him to a big match, he just doesn't do it. Even Triple H made fun of him after the match when Smackdown was off air before the dark match. He was just sort of saying Khali sort of takes bumps like a tree falling over in the forest. But from there, the dark match was a tag match. It was Christian and Alberto Del Rio. They were going to go up against Randy Orton and Sheamus. Sheamus was replacing Rey Mysterio. I guess Rey Mysterio really is hurt, so we'll go from there. I mean, but it was a fun night. SmackDown was fun. I didn't buy any merch, but like I said, SummerSlam and Raw coming up.